So I suppose we can stop talking and watch the footage. Sorry. Welcome back to another episode of Bowhunt or Die. Justin, it has finally stopped raining. I think this is maybe our 5th consecutive day of no rain, and we can actually be outside. It's a beautiful day outside, so we decided to change things up a little bit. We're out here at the Hunt Club, going to be doing a little bit of spraying with the Moose utility sprayer, so figured we'd take the opportunity to film the show outdoors today. We got a couple fun segments for today. We're gonna rewind the clock for 2 of them. Matt Miller and myself both went to Iowa earlier this spring, so like March and April before green up. We wanted to do a little bit of scouting on some public land. I'm only going to say that once or 100 times during
until he shoots a deer on public land. Then we're going to have to hear that over and over.
So Matt and I went on 2 different weekends and scouted 2 different pieces of property that weren't too far away. I know that I had enough points to draw a tag for this year. Matt was on the border. He had like a 50-50 shot of drawing a tag for this year, but he knew he was going to apply, so he decided to go out and scout just in the event that he did get drawn for a tag. So we're going to watch those 2 segments, then we're going to check in with Dan Richardson down in Indiana. He's putting out some Antler King minerals. So I suppose we can stop talking and watch the footage. Well, good morning, everybody. It's the last weekend in March, and I am here in Iowa, doing a little bit of scouting on some public land here. I'm with my buddy Scott Bakken, and I don't know, he's over on that ridge somewhere. Been here for about an hour. This is the first spot we've looked at. Had enough points to draw an Iowa tag for years and just never done it, and I decided this is going to be the year. No time like the present, so here we are, planning on hunting public land this fall. I'm really going to dedicate most of my rut hunting to Iowa this year, not so much in Illinois. Illinois early and late, but Iowa during kind of the meat of the season, late October and November. So here doing some scouting. Man, that looks like a killer spot right here. I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's a big flat bench right there. It comes up out of this bottom, got a flat bench, and that leads up to the field right there. I believe either that hill or the next one that I want to get up on. Look for buck bedding sign. I'm not planning on hunting any of this until late October, but in any case, I am about 1.5 miles in right now, and we're not even to the spots that I dropped on the map on the GPS that I want to check out. So it's going to take some work getting back in here with the camera gear and stands and everything come fall, but man, what a great looking place. Tons of deer sign, a lot of tracks, tons of huge scrapes down in here. Haven't seen much for rubs, but a lot of scrapes. So hoping we're going to find some more rub, concentrated buck sign once we get up on top of these hills. So I'm going to quit talking. We're going to, I guess, get walking up these hills. We made it to the top of the hill from hell, and it's not quite what I was hoping it would be. Very open woods, not very good for bedding. So I'm gonna probably scratch this one from the list. This old stand over there, the deer right there. Deer. So yeah, I don't know. Scratch this one from the list maybe. What do you think, dog? Could you hunt up here? I think you would. Alright, well, we're on the hillside from hell still. I think every hillside is the hillside from hell out here. Some pretty steep country, but we just came through a big thicket of up top here, and it was just absolutely littered with rubs. I mean, all over the place. The biggest concentration of rubs we've seen anywhere yet. So marked that spot on the map. We'll definitely be coming back in the fall to see what it looks like, but we're going to keep moving down the hillside back towards the truck. I don't know if you can see behind me, but it's awfully steep in here, and now it's starting to snow. It certainly beats being 80 degrees. Makes it for pleasant walking conditions. So we're going to keep heading back to the truck. We got about 1.5 miles to 2 miles to get back to the truck, and then we're going to go check out, I think, another spot. I might be able to videotape my own demise. Somebody finds this camera, just sell the footage to like TMZ or somebody. Make sure my wife and kids get the money though, or at least half the money. Split it with whoever finds the footage. All right, we are in location number 2. I did almost 5 mile walk on that first spot, which was mostly just big timber. And it was a lot of really open timber, which I'm really not used to hunting. It was a little weird for me, but this is a little bit more like what I'm used to hunting back home. A lot of raspberry thickets in here, a lot of blowdowns. Looks like they may have done some timber stand improvement in here at some point. There's a lot of trees that are cut down, look like old hinge cuts and whatnot. So great looking spot. A lot more bedding in here than I've seen in that other spot that we walked into. You know, that place was almost 2 miles to get back into there. We're probably only a half mile into this place. But man, I tell you, it looked a lot better. I thought I saw like a cougar or something walking over there, but it was just Scott's dog. But in any case, a lot of concentrated deer sign in here, a lot of beds. This is a little bit more what I was looking for. I think this might be an overlook spot because it's kind of just a little piece off the corner of this management area. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep walking it and see what we see. All right, so at this point, I think we found an area that's definitely worth coming back into. It's been the biggest concentration of just general deer sign that we've seen. As I said earlier, this place up here they did some timber stand improvement on it at some point in time. Looks like it's been a few years, but they cut a ton of stuff down, girdled a bunch of trees, and it's just created a big, thick, nasty bedding area. I've seen more beds in this spot up here than I saw anywhere in the 5 miles we walked on the other side of this place. So it's only about a half mile maybe from the truck. It's not all that far, but I think it's kind of an overlooked spot. It's a little teeny corner of this management area that's on the other side of the road from the parking area, and I think it's just probably overlooked. It doesn't look on a map like it's the greatest spot in the world, but it's got a lot of deer sign, good rub behind me, just a lot of bedding, good bedding area. And you find if you don't have the food, which generally on public you're not going to have the preferred food sources most of the time, you better find the bedding, in my experience. And that's what we've got here. We got another deer bed right down here below me, right next to this tree. Deer bed right here. So overall, pretty good looking spot. Happy with this one. Definitely going to come back in October, see what the buck sign looks like. So I'd say the one thing I'm noticing out here is, you know, anywhere there's big open timber where you can see a long ways, there's not a lot of concentrated deer sign, not a lot of rubs, few scrapes going through, a lot of community scrapes in those open areas, but not a lot of real good concentration of deer sign in general. But every time we get into one of these thickets, no matter where it is, we get into one of these south-facing hillsides with a lot of raspberry thickets and tight trees, and they're just shredded, almost like clockwork every single time. So it's clear that these bucks are sticking more to cover, which is what I would expect, to be completely honest with you. But these thicker hillsides are just pretty hard to find out here. Just a ton of open timber that I think is really hard to hunt. So I'm going to focus mostly on these thicker hillsides in these areas like this one I just found. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rubs in like a 5-yard area right here, and there's a bunch going all up through this, and it's only like a 40-yard wide, 100-yard long little thicket right here, and there's just absolutely rubs everywhere. So I'm gonna focus in on these areas. It's way up on top of a hill. It's a pain in the butt to walk up here, so hopefully there's not a lot of other guys doing this and we can escape whatever little bit of pressure there may be out here. But encouraging sign so far. I think we're about done at this area. Scott's probably going to head home shortly, and then I'm going to go probably walk one other spot. It's going to be a small, like a little 150 or 200 acre public piece that maybe is overlooked. I think a lot of guys like to come to these bigger, 2,000-3,000 acre spots, overlook the small one. So I'm going to hit a small one and then get on the road home. So
I am not your forefather's broadhead. I am 4 ultra-sharp blades of blistering precision. I am 3 devastating inches of cutting trauma. I am a 100-grain testament to American ingenuity. I am a bulletproof storm of unleashed fury. I am the Spitfire double cross, and failure is not an option. NAP. Hunt with confidence.
Well, running late again. It's about 7:30. I am headed to Iowa. It's a beautiful day in mid-April, bluebird skies. It's nice and cool. And I am going to go walk and scout some new public property that I've never been to before. So my story for 2019 is really going to revolve around new adventures and hunting new places that I've never been to before. And I've gotten a little complacent with hunting the same farm that I've been on in northern Illinois for quite a number of years. And last year that did not pay off for me. So I'm going to try and find some new spots this year, take advantage of some of these public grounds that we've got in Illinois and the surrounding states, because there's just so much of it. And that's the plan as of right now. Well, this is definitely bluff country. I'm at the top of the first hill in on this property, and it is beautiful in here. A lot of topographical features, and that is exactly what I'm looking for. So I am not going to have any time to get in here and run cameras or really assess what's going on in this place. And the target for today is to just find a couple of funnels and pinch points, essentially, because I'm not going to be back here until late October, early November. That's kind of the plan. So I'm just going to look for the very best funnels that I can find. If I can locate a couple of like classic doe bedding areas and the funnels that are close to them, that's what I'm probably going to key in on. But it is beautiful in here, and I don't know, I'm maybe a mile in right now and no sign of other hunters at this point. So I'm going to keep going. I've got a spot just a little bit northwest of where I'm at right now. It looks like a neat little inside corner on the edge of an ag field at the edge of this public property. I'm going to go check out. Well, this is just absolutely classic big woods rut funnel stuff that I'm looking at right now. So I'm in a spot where several of these fingers on a ridge all come together, and these bucks, I typically see them traveling the top 1/3 of this type of topography, and I knew if I'd walk around in here just a little bit, I'd probably find some sign, and sure enough, it's just polluted with rubs like this one in here. One other really big one just over my shoulder here. I'm sure there's quite a few more in here, but I'm not going to really take the time to pick it apart because I want to cover more ground today. But I threw a waypoint on the map, and this will be a spot that I'll check back out when I come back in here. It's awful close to the parking lot, so I'm only 3/4 of a mile in right now, so I'm not sure if this is going to get hit. It's kind of an obvious spot, not on the map, but for a guy that's walking in here on foot, it looks obvious. My goal today is to try and see if I can get 4, 5, 6 of these types of spots like this lined up, so that when I come in here, I've got a couple of backup plans in case other guys are thinking the same thing. So, bunch more miles to go. Let's see what we can see. Well, I'm up on that inside corner of the field right now, and I just can't believe the amount of sign that's up here. It's a tough spot to hunt because it's pretty flat, and I'm not sure there's any rhyme or reason to how the deer are using this, but I found a kill tree just down over the edge of this where there's a little bit more topography that these deer are going to have to kind of funnel through. I'm basically right on the edge of some planted pines here, where it meets with an inside corner of a field along with some open hardwoods just on the other side of these planted pines. And there are rubs like this one everywhere in here, and it's not just from this year. You can tell that these have been rubbed up like this for multiple years. So this is a spot that I will key in on this fall, without a doubt. I don't know if I'm going to be the only one in here. I did find a pair of field dressing gloves just down over the hill, maybe 200 yards from here, so I've got to imagine somebody else has found this at some point, but I'll be back in here to check this out in October. So lots more miles to go. Let's go. Let's do it. Well, I dropped down into the bottom of this hollow. I mean, there's just a ton of elevation on this place, and absolutely nothing on the side hill the whole way down from where I saw those last rubs. But down in this bottom, there's not a ton of buck sign, but boy, these deer are definitely being pinched down right in this bottom. Heavy trails in here. I can't imagine the wind is going to be too reliable down here, so I'm not sure if this is a spot that I would hunt or not, but I might keep it as a backup plan. So I threw a mark on the map. I'm not sure if I'll venture back this way or not. I'm about 2.5 miles in right now, so if I've got to come this far, it means there's a lot of people up top. So, well, just got out to the truck, getting a quick drink, and I got to hit the road. I've got, I don't know, a 4 to 4.5 hour drive ahead of me today, so I got to get after it and get back home so I can still see the kids before they hit bed. But it's beautiful out here in Iowa. I mean, it's just stunning. I don't know if I'm going to pull that tag or not, but I've got 2 preference points. I know Justin is pretty much guaranteed to get his this year, but I've got somewhere between, I don't know, a 30 to 50% chance, and I'll know in late July whether or not I pulled that tag or not. And if I do, I know exactly where I'm going. So, you know, I've got a heck of a season ahead of me. I'm going to be in Kentucky early. Of course, I'm going to be hunting Illinois. If I can pull the permit, I'm going to be here in Iowa, and there's a good chance I may end up in Wyoming this year, late in November as well, for a rut hunt for whitetails out there. So a lot of interesting and cool stuff coming up this year, guys. Stay tuned, and next time I get out there, I'll give you guys a few more updates. Thanks for watching. Bowhunt or Die.
Hey, it's Dan Richardson from southern Indiana. Look at this, it's actually dry right now. It's not raining. I did hear thunder a while ago. It's getting a little bit dark out there. We've got a work day on one of the properties today. We're going to be putting some Antler King minerals out. We're going to go up there and I'll tell you why I chose the spot, a little bit about the minerals. We're going to put trail cameras out, tell you kind of how to set them up. But it's going to benefit the deer, and today, or this year, they're going to need it more than any time. We've had so much flooding around here. Most of the fields that they rely on are not even getting planted. Some of them did get worked up, but before they could even plant it, we got flooded out again. So it's getting late in the year, and I don't think some of the fields are going to get planted. So let's get up there, give them some nutrition, and get this stuff in the ground. Here we are. We made it back to one of my favorite mineral sites. As you can see, this one looks huge. It started out small actually, but over time your minerals bleed in there. Deer come in here and paw it around. It kind of grew, and it's kind of good that it holds water now too, because I can dump it over here to the side. They got water with it, which is great. I love starting my mineral sites beside water. The reason I chose this spot, this is coal mine ground. It's got what we call strip pits, and those are long bodies of water. One of them's back behind me. It starts way down there. It comes back and ends behind me, and I've got another one over here, and it makes a L, and you've got bedding on both sides of those, and this pretty much creates a little, just kind of a pinch point in here. You got this nice little cleared out area between. Quad trail down beside me. They love traveling that stuff this time of year. So anyway, that's pretty much why I chose this, and they are using it. Pretty much you just need about one mineral site every 40 to 60 acres. You only have to check them like once a month, and you can pretty much start them around January, February. You think about that, you got post rut, deer are stressed out, great time to put it out, and you can pretty much run them all the way through August. March and August is pretty much your most consumption, those 2 months right there. If you think about it, deer are growing antlers. They got new development going on. You've got does carrying fawns. They drop the fawns, they're feeding on the mom, and the fawns need it for good body growth, you know. So It not only attracts deer, but it also promotes better digestion. It's loaded with vitamins and minerals. We're going to put a 20-pound bag of trophy deer mineral down and one little 5-pound bag of Power Rack. They recommend, Antler King recommends to mix these two together. This one here has got more trace minerals than this one, and that's pretty much just an element required for nutrition. So we're going to mix the two together, and they say for best results, mix those two together. So we're going to put one there, we're going to put this on top of it, we're going to mix them up, and we're going to get these things going. And then I'm going to talk about putting a camera out, which I've had here already, getting some great pictures over it already, and I'm going to show you how to set that up. So here we go. Okay, game cameras. I got my mineral site freshened up. Great place to get inventory pics. So we're going to put a stealth cam out. I've got a nice little HME mount here that I'm going to stick in the ground behind me. I just swapped cards on this one. I've had it out already. Got great pictures over this already. Early on I had pregnant does coming in here, a couple decent bucks. But when you put these cams out, you don't want them facing directly where the sun comes up or the sun goes down. A lot of times that'll trigger your cams, or you're going to get a lot of bright light right in them when you get pictures. So this one's pretty much going to be facing due north, and I like to keep it probably 10 to 12 feet back. That pretty well gets my mineral site and the deer in the same picture together, not just half the mineral site and the deer or whatever. But that's kind of an even kill where I can get both of them in there. So you got to kind of play with your distance. 10 to 12 is great for me, but kind of experiment with that, you know, yourself and see what you get. But either run these on pictures or video mode, and I guarantee you over these mineral sites you're going to get some great pictures. So anyway, we're going to stick this one out. I'll go home and check this card and see what I got. So until next time, bow hunt or die.
Well, it's official. Both you and Matt have gotten drawn for Iowa.
Yeah.
So how does this hang on now. Listen, you know I'm not the public man master. So how does this work? Are you leaving stands? Can you leave trail cameras? You got trail cameras up? What are you doing? What's the plan?
You can leave stands during the season. I don't necessarily intend on doing that. You can put cameras out at your own peril because it is public land. I know Cody down there in Kentucky has already lost an SD card out of one of his cameras. He had his camera locked to the tree. They couldn't get the camera off, so what they did, and they couldn't cut the lock, so they cut the door of the camera off and took his SD card. So I don't know who's doing that. If you're watching this video and you're somebody that's on public land messing with other people's trail cameras, stop it. That's not cool.
That's not cool.
But yeah, I don't know that I'm personally going to put any cameras out. I'm kind of enjoying the hunting somewhere I've never hunted, not knowing what's there.
I like it.
Going in sight unseen. Matt, on the other hand, is all about the trail cameras. He's going to go out, he's going to scout, he's going to do cameras and all that stuff. So not to say that I won't use any of Matt's intel if he happens to get some.
Now, one more question, Justin, just because I'm interested. So now,
yes.
you actually went and checked out one spot. Matt went and checked out another spot. Now,
Correct.
Specifically, is this by design? Are you guys planning on? Are you only going to hunt your one spot?
Well,
or are you just trying to have more knowledge?
We're just trying to have more knowledge. So we're both hunting. It's zone 9, so we're going to be in northeastern Iowa is where we're going to be at. So if you think of like where Wisconsin and Minnesota kind of meet, that corner up in there is where we plan on hunting. I was only able to get out for one day and cover one spot, and I didn't even cover the whole thing. So when Matt went out, we figured instead of him walking the same ground that I already walked, go hit another spot, see what that looks like. That way, in case you get there and there's a whole bunch of people or you're just not seeing the sign you want to see, you've got more options.
I like it.
That was kind of the plan. Now, I had 3 preference points going into this year, so I knew I was pretty much guaranteed to draw a tag. Matt only had 2 points, so he was a 50-50 shot on whether or not he was going to get drawn, and as fate would have it, he got a tag. So we're trying to work out scheduling to make sure that we're both out there at the same time in case somebody shoots a deer. We've got some help getting it out.
From the little bit of stuff that I've seen, you better keep working these babies out.
Man, I want to get one of those backpacks and put weights in, because I got like a 2-mile walk to where I want to hunt. And the bluffs out there in that part of Iowa are no joke. Like, they are freaking, I felt like I was in Colorado at some points. They were so steep. So it should be interesting to see what happens.
If you get one, call me.
Okay.
And I'll see who I know that can maybe come out and help you out.
That's very nice. Maybe one of our viewers can come help me out.
Maybe we can call Brad, see if Brad and Brandon are doing, let them go be a part of the experience. Brandon and Brad are always trying to work out.
Yeah, you guys. Brandon's got a bad back, though, so I probably need Brad. He's young and ripped. So That's all the hunting action we've got for this episode, guys. Next up, we want to spend just a couple seconds here and thank the people who sent in their trophy photos or posted them on social media. Hashtag #BowhunterDie. And let's take a look at those now. Dustin Warren.
Evan Baker.
Jason Fell.
Jessica Johnson.
Kyle Sawinski.
And Scott Pasca. Congratulations, everyone. Those are some great trophies. Justin, I know you've already selected the winner, and it is...
Jessica. I forgot her last name.
Hey, the reality is...
Johnson?
Johnson.
Was it Jessica Johnson?
It was Jessica
is our
Johnson.
winner.
Good photo.
She's smiling. She's got her bow in the picture.
Dude, it's
the
about
deer's
effort.
posed
It's
up.
effort.
It's all about effort.
all
Life
about
is
effort.
all about effort. So
It
congratulations to Jessica. Actually, congrats to everybody who sent in their photos. Those are some
Whoa,
great deer.
don't just end this thing right away now.
What?
Dude, we got to get rolling on this trophy doe contest. Brad, you got to start listing out the details of this contest. People are asking me. The reality is
I
there
gotta
are
start
more.
scouting for trophy does.
Dude, there
is what
are
you're telling
bigger.
me?
First of all, you and I got a competition on that big doe deal.
We do?
Yes, we do. We said it a couple earlier.
You said it. I
know.
didn't
Well,
say anything.
Him and I got a competition for money.
Oh,
For money on who's
there's
going to shoot the
spiders
biggest
all over
doe.
me.
Number one. Number two, we're going to get the rules. We're going to get those posted. Guys, we're going to keep this simple. We're going to keep it fun. We are going to have a line drawn somewhere for you guys who got smaller does down south, but that's going to be the plan. So
the
start.
Mason-Dixon line.
Fine, the Mason-Dixon line will most likely be the plan. Start looking up right now, because in order to qualify, you need to get an HME scale. Got to have a photo, you got to have that deer hanging on that scale, or you are out. So start looking up that scale. We're going to be posting rules here shortly.
I don't like this outside business. There's spiders crawling all over me for some reason. I must be standing in a spider's nest. So guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week right here, Bowhunt or Die.
The whole mess is, I need to get going, get this, waste any time. What a better way to give the deer nutrition, and that bag's gonna fall over. Let's do this again.